So the CEOs of Caesars Entertainment and their entire board just got a big pay raise. How's that working out for you? Yeah, it's not working out great for me. I don't work for Caesars Entertainment, but I do know that the casinos are not at full capacity. Thousands and thousands of people have been furloughed, and I do know that this isn't fake news. We can actually get to the bottom of it and explain how we can know that it's true, and I want to know what you think about Caesars Palace at this point. What's your opinion on the company? You doing backflips to stay at the properties anymore, or are you thinking twice about where you're going to stay? I'll tell you, there is a place that you might want to stay. We'll get to that in the video today, and I have a top secret interview between those same board members and the CEOs of Caesars Palace, which I filmed by secret. We'll get to that in just a minute in the video. But my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas video blogger. I hope you would like, share, subscribe to the videos. Hit the bell for the future notifications if you guys want to be informed on Las Vegas stuff. I try to push out the positive news, but when things like this come up, I just can't justify it. A lot of you guys in the past think that you have me nailed down on where my politics are. Yeah, I'm a capitalist. I'm not, but you know what? I'm not. I'm not a capitalist that wants to hurt other people. Yeah, I think that CEOs should make some kind of money, but I don't think that CEOs should be taking big pay raises in the time of a pandemic. Yeah, I understand, and we're going to try to see what their justification could be why this happened, but there are some solutions now that the merger's already gone through, so there's no reason for this to actually be happening right now. If you guys want to support the channel, head on over to Patreon, where you guys can be in the credits of all of the videos. You guys can also get early access to videos that I post up, little clips that I post sometimes there, nowhere else. Also, you guys can get blog posts and photos, or you can go over to vegasfacemask.com. It's the only 2 face masks you'll ever need, made by my wife here. We have now like 55 different patterns, and we even have Halloween and Christmas stuff, handmade in the USA. And if you guys really want to support the channel, you guys can hit the Amazon link to shop, but you guys got to subscribe to the channel. You know, 50% or more of you guys don't actually subscribe, but you keep coming back and liking my videos and commenting. That makes you awesome people, but the YouTube algorithm loves to see subscribers. If I had everybody that watches me on a regular basis subscribed, I'd probably have about 50, 60,000 subscribers by now. I know it's crazy, right? But anyways, we're going to talk more about the Caesars Palace deal, the Caesars Entertainment. I keep saying Caesars Palace. So we got to go a little bit of history. So as you guys might know, Eldorado Resorts recently bought Caesars and renamed the whole shebang Caesars. Yeah, I know, right? Creative. But hey, they went off of the brand that's been around and iconic since the 1950s, and I totally understand that. Brand recognition is important. It happens all the time when corporate companies merge. That was a deal that was in the works all the way back from 2018 up to 2019, and then everybody thought it's not going to go through, and then it went through. That's important to note right now. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But the big meat and potatoes of this is that the Las Vegas Review-Journal said that the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States has revealed that those board members gave themselves a pay raise, with the top pay for the CEO of the newly formed company being $2 million a year. How do we know that? Well, that's because it's public knowledge. If you're not familiar, the Securities and Exchange Commission is what all of the governing is a governing body that looks at any publicly traded company. So the SEC looks at what Tesla does and Microsoft, and they look at what Boeing does. They look at any publicly traded company. When things like this happen, they need to let people know, so they release everything and they put it out. And now we know that Caesars board members have a big pay raise. Meanwhile, people can't afford to feed their families. Meanwhile, people are watching the news fervently, seeing if there's going to be any kind of renewal to the SEC, any kind of renewal to the $600 a month federally mandated unemployment emergency insurance. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Meanwhile, people out here are worried about Vegas closing, and these guys are taking a pay raise. How do we justify this? I have no idea. Maybe the boardroom meeting went something like this. Hey boss, so I saw the news. Looks like we completed our merger. I never even thought we'd get here. So what's next for us up here on the board? Do we reduce our pay? Do we help the little people out? I mean, it is a new company. We could do something like that, and we already get paid so much, but what's next for us? What are you talking about? Reduce our pay? That's insane. Don't you know that it's built into this whole deal? We're all getting pay raises. You don't see the benefits of all this? Yeah, but boss, I'm just saying, I mean, it might look really bad on paper, wouldn't it? I mean, there's tons of people out of work. We don't know what the governor's going to do next, and folks are afraid of us actually being basically closed forever. I mean, when this gets out into the news, no one's going to understand where we're coming from. Besides, we don't even have any shows or entertainment for them when they come to town. We should just be lucky that they're even coming here. Listen, I understand it looks bad, but it's already built into the deal. And by the way, you're fired for your terrible ideas. Everybody who wants to be in favor of a massive pay raise for us, raise your hands and say aye. Well, I say aye too. Guys, congratulations, pat yourselves on the back. You're getting a big pay raise. Now, I'm really not saying that's how it went, but that's kind of what happened. You see, they had this thing built into this giant deal that said that if they got through the deal, apparently, this is what people are supposing, they would get a pay raise. And that was, of course, in 2018 and 2019 when the sky was the limit and nothing could possibly go wrong. There's also the argument that they want to keep the pay raises for everybody because they can't find new people to replace them. And as I said, I think at the beginning of this video, I've recorded this several times, unfortunately, I'm not against people that are in positions that know how to run giant companies making money. But at this point, it just has terrible optics. You know, CEO Jim Murin of MGM Resorts was interim CEO for a while there, and they recently hired him back, citing that there was just nobody else that could run the company like him. And all of these CEOs and chair people that are coming over from El Dorado into Caesars are valuable because they can run the company hopefully better than the old Caesars could, which of course lost money. But it just begs the question. I mean, at this point, there's so many people that are out of work. How many people has Caesars furloughed? The answer is that nobody knows. Actually, nobody has any idea how many people were furloughed at Caesars Palace because the company's not releasing those stats and figures. You can comment below and tell me if you know somebody that works for a casino company that was let go. And you can comment below and tell us what you think the actual opinion of how this looks is, because to me, it just looks really, really bad. Now, whether or not this was built into the deal to start with, which is what the rumor has it, it was in 2018 and 2019 when they figured they could afford these kinds of pay raises because there wasn't going to be a massive global pandemic that shut down travel from all parts of the world into Las Vegas. Whether or not that was built into all that, what I hope Caesars can see, and I really doubt anybody's watching from Caesars, but I hope they can see the light at the end of the tunnel here, is that you can fix this. You can actually retroactively pull back and say you're temporarily taking that money that you were going to take extra and buy a big house with, and you can do things like, you know, donate it to a fund for your employees. Give it to the people who you can't hire back. Because there's people in the same town that are doing amazing things, and we'll get to that in just a second. But with that, the deal is done. You don't have to continue on with what the deal said. The deal that you had was written so the SEC would give you permission, and all the gaming companies or gaming commissions of New Jersey, Canada, wherever you have a property, Nevada, of course, all those things and stipulations were in there so you could get your deal closed. The deal is closed now. You can change the deal. You don't have to give yourselves big pay raises. And if you do, I would certainly hope you would consider donating some of that money that right now you're working a lot less for, just to keep the company going in a pandemic situation. I hope you would consider donating it, because at the end of the day, I'm not against capitalism, but I am against capitalism that basically hurts the smaller end consumer. And meanwhile, on the other side of the street, you have Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon Adelson announced recently in the last week that he's going to be paying full-time salaries all the way through the end of the year to all of his employees. 8,000 plus employees at the Venetian and the Palazzo working for Las Vegas Sands Corporation, whether or not they're stuck at home because their job was furloughed. Furloughed is a term that you might not be familiar with. It just means that your job is temporarily not available for you and you're still employed, but they can't pay you any money. Well, he's paying those people to stay at home. Or if you're a part-time worker, I believe he's paying full-time salaries, although I could be wrong and correct me below. So there are people out here in Las Vegas who are doing the right thing and trying very hard to make good with their employees and put on the right optics. So I guess what it comes down to is, like, I'm not going to tell you where to stay at when you come in Las Vegas. When you come to Las Vegas, you're going to stay where you want to stay. You might never stay at Caesars again because of this. You might always stay at Caesars because they've treated you really well throughout the past, and you look at this as big business with a bad contract that was written for a $17 billion deal. And you might look at this and say, well, it is what it is. I'm going to stay there. But it's up to you, the consumer. And when we take our consumer money elsewhere, we generally have a way for us to tell companies what we really think. Caesars Entertainment in the past has brought us some amazing things. They brought us Celine Dion, Beatles Love by Cirque du Soleil, of course Caesars Palace with all their amazing restaurants. There are benefits to Caesars being a part of our lives here in Las Vegas, but the negatives come when bad decisions like this get made, when the Security and Exchange Commission releases the documents that show that the big guys at the top are getting paid even more money while the little guys at the bottom are concerned that the casinos shut down next week forever and they don't have a job and they can't put their kids through school this year, let alone be able to buy Christmas gifts in December. So just bad optics all around. I've been trying to spin this positively and justify it. and this is the closest I could get. So I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys consider hitting like, share, subscribe, hitting the bell, leaving us a comment. What is your opinion on Caesars? Do you think this is just par for the course? Do you think this is a blow to Las Vegas? I did another video where I likened this to stabbing a knife in the back of the employees. I thought that was a little overly dramatic, but you tell me what you think about that. Should I have run with that? If you guys want to support us, you have Patreon and Amazon links below. We also have VegasFaceMask.com, and that's the only 2 masks you'll ever need. There's no S on the end of that. So before I leave, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, click. Thank you for watching. Tell you I love all of you guys. You're my brothers and sisters in this battle that we are facing in Las Vegas during this pandemic time. And I say 3, 2, 1, click. So 3, 2, 1, and click.